Hey guys, welcome into today's video. This is going to be a brand new series on my channel. It's going to be a foundation a day for 42 days. The reason that I wanted to start this video is that I have 51 foundations in my permanent collection. It's the number 2 item, maybe number 1 right now, of makeup that I really like testing. I'm really into testing new foundations. It switches back and forth usually between blush, eyeshadow, and foundation, my 3 favorite makeup categories, probably a lot of people's favorite makeup categories. But 51 foundations is just too much for me to have in my collection. I recently did a makeup declutter, and I will link that up in the cards, where I went through my whole collection and I decluttered, breaking some of my makeup into 3 different categories: keep, declutter, and then I made up a third, which was items that I want to keep for reference but I'm going to take out of my permanent collection and move into the closet, where I keep makeup that I think is popular, relevant, things that I may want to reference in future videos but that I don't want to use in my personal everyday life. But I did not do that with foundation. And recently I've gone through a really big skin change. In the last 8 months to a year, I have gone from really dry skin to very oily skin, and a lot of foundations that used to work for me that were more on the dewy natural finish side just aren't working these days. So I'm grabbing and loving more matte foundations. So some of my foundations in my collection predate my skin change. So the reason for this series, I don't want to just declutter foundations based on memory. I want to retest a lot of them because some of them are pretty expensive. Some of them I may re-love, some of them I may not like or may not work for me now, and it's time to make that determination. So while I have 51 foundations in my collection, this is foundation a day for 42 days because there are 9 foundations I have already made a decision on. Some of them I'm actually testing. They haven't gone into speed reviews, but I've worn them very recently, so I know exactly how I feel about them. But I will have to move them into wherever they're gonna go, keep, declutter, or in the reference pile. And then there are some that I'm testing that I already absolutely love, haven't gone into a speed reviews, and I know that I'm going to be keeping them. And then 2 of them I have already made the decision that I'm going to declutter. Welcome in, you guys. Today is day 40. There is this foundation and just 1 more to go. I'm really excited. On today's agenda is the Smashbox Always On foundation. I have done a dedicated video on this. I really liked this foundation. I think that video did really well. Actually, I wasn't expecting it to have so many views, but I think there was a lot of hype because it was a really good product. Like, it worked really well for me. So I'm pretty excited to test this out today, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not a betting lady necessarily, but I think it'll stay. So let's jump into talking about the details of this. The full name of this is the Always On Skin Balancing Foundation. It comes in 30 different shades. I have mine in the shade L10N. It retails for $45. The description on the Smashbox website is absolutely lovely. They do a good job in describing it, so I had a little bit of fun kind of writing this. It's supposed to be a long-wearing foundation with skin balancing, oil control, and hydration. Its key ingredients are hyaluronic acid for instant and 24-hour hydration, and adaptogens to act as an internal thermostat to balance levels of oil. It's a medium to full coverage foundation with a natural finish. This is primer infused, so it's supposed to give you 16-hour cake, flake, and streak-free wear. It is water, sweat, humidity, crease, settle, and transfer resistant. It's made in Canada, 1 fluid ounce, and a 24-month shelf life. The reason I say that this one was a little bit fun to kind of write is that they give you basically all of the details in one place. Sometimes when I'm looking up these foundations, it's very limited in terms of the description. I kind of find it on different places on their website, or sometimes I'll see certain things on Ulta and Sephora, and so I'll kind of meld these descriptions in together, but Smashbox was like, whoop. So I think they have just kind of like a more sophisticated system for featuring products on their page because they're just kind of a bigger company. But anyway, I feel like they do a decent job. I'm really excited to get this on if this is the first time you guys are seeing one of these videos. The way that I do these wear tests is I apply one side with a brush and one side with a clean dampened sponge and, you know, see if there was a preference in terms of application or the way that it looks on the skin, that sort of thing. And then I do a wear test for you guys that generally consists of 8 hours. Most of my wear tests are over that because I go about my day as I normally would, and then at the very end of the night we come back and we sit down and we look at the footage of what I filmed in natural light right after application and in natural light at the 4 to 5 hour mark. So let's get this on, let's get it going. I've lowered my chair today and I feel so weird being this low. Hopefully the lighting is pretty good. We're doing mostly natural light from the back of the window. I do have the lights here on just a teeny bit, but not much. I feel like some of my videos have been a little bit on the brighter side, which I'm not used to because my old camera was terrible in low lighting. Anyway, let's start. Let's get this hair off of here. Hello. Let's start with a clean brush on the left side. That gave me medium coverage. I'm not gonna build it. Okay, I'm gonna build it. I'm gonna build it on the forehead just a little bit. I think that it has a really tackiness about it. Like it's a pretty sticky consistency, but it still blends in really nicely with a pretty dense brush. This shade is a little bit deep for me in L10N. If you guys watch any of my other videos or hear me talk about it, I usually go too dark. I very rarely pick a shade that's light, and I almost never pick a shade that's perfect. All of my shopping happens online, but I feel like if I kept this foundation, I'd still use it in this shade. I wouldn't replace it. Because blended out, it looks okay. It looks okay. I feel like I can get away with it. This is so natural. This is like one of the most natural looking, immediately medium coverage foundations. I don't know if it's primer infused that I love about it, that's kind of smoothing. I don't know if it's the formula, but this foundation is honestly great. I've never tried another complexion product from Smashbox before, but if they were all like this, I would just become a Smashbox complexion product fan forever. There's just something absolutely stunning about this. I hope that I get a good wear out of this particular one today, because it would be lovely if it was a little bit longer lasting for me. And I don't remember the wear on it the last time I wore this. Go into this side with a sponge. I don't know if I have a preference between brush and sponge. I feel like they applied pretty much the same. Like they both felt so smooth and so beautiful going on. Like it was just kind of a pleasure to keep applying it. That's how I felt about it. Additionally, it was kind of cooling on the skin, like smoothing. It just felt really good going on. Hydrating, that's what it was. It kind of felt like just like immensely hydrating without feeling greasy. That's what it felt like. Just putting it onto my skin felt like my skin was drinking it, or that it was just like a little drink of water. That's kind of a weird way to describe it, but honestly, that's just how it felt. Oh, the finish of this is so freaking gorgeous. I just want the wear to be gorgeous too. Please let the wear be gorgeous, because everything else about this is freaking stunning. Just stunning. And I love the fact that it has a 24-month shelf life, you know, which means I can keep it for 4 years instead of 2. But no, really, I typically will keep my foundations longer than the shelf life. Most of my products I will. I think all of us do. But anyway, you guys, those are my initial thoughts on the foundation. I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup. We'll come back, we'll do one final check-in, and then I'll go about my wear test, and I'll start doing those natural light check-ins for you guys. Be right back. I am back, and I have to say, like, it looks really nice, but I can tell my skin's really dry today. Like right around my nose, it's kind of, can I zoom you guys in? Like it's just kind of dry, like right around here. And I don't know if that's the foundation's fault or the powder that I was using, or just my skin today is a little bit dry kind of around my nose. It's back to being pretty cold outside. Like the weather right now is just like fluctuating up and down, so my skin is doing the same thing. Aside from the little bit of dry areas on my nose, otherwise it's absolutely stunning. It's stunning in real life. Yeah, it just, there's something about the way that it sinks into the skin is really nice. And it had a little bit of dewiness, but when I powdered over it, it's pretty much gone. That basically happens to me every time because I need to powder, because I feel like if I don't, it'll settle in, it'll crease, like whatever product I'm using. So I always powder pretty much my whole face. So dewy foundations don't stay dewy on me. I don't get like that kind of dewy look. If I were to just leave it, I wouldn't get longevity out of it, and I'm always looking for longevity. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to get out of this. I want something, even if it's natural looking, to be a longer lasting product. And that is it in a nutshell, you guys. I have 2 days left, including today, to make a decision on which foundations stay in my collection for a foundation a day for 42 days. I'm gonna go about my day, do my wear test. I'm gonna jump over to the window right now and do a natural light check-in for you guys. I will see you guys back here at the end of the night, and we'll decide on whether or not if Miss Smashbox gets to stay. I'll see you guys later. Welcome back to 8:30 in the evening. It's been Goodness gracious, 9.5 hours. I want to say by the time I finished putting on my makeup, it was 11 o'clock. This was gorgeous. It's mostly like the coverage just lasted. Even though I got dewy, it still looks like I'm wearing makeup. It just held up really well. So I'm gonna jump right into showing you guys what it looked like in natural light. I'm gonna kind of like look at my own footage here, basically just to reference what it looked like. I can see that it was dry around my nose right at the first check-in after application, but it could have just been that I had like dry skin and I was using a heavier powder, but it still looked really good overall. The thing is, it didn't get drier on my nose in that same spot. So once my oil started peeking through, it didn't look quite as heavy. Like the more of my oils came through, kind of the better that it looked, like once the powder kind of faded off, that sort of thing. It still looks pretty good. The mascara I'm wearing maybe like transferred a little bit, but I didn't touch anything up. It still looks pretty darn good. Everything was really intact. It held the blush together really nicely too. That's another thing I noticed. Sometimes the longevity of the blush just like depends on what foundation I'm wearing as well. I overall really enjoyed this. Everything sat on top of it really well. It gave me a beautiful finish even though I'm dewy. So I feel like, again, I've referenced kind of finish before where I can easily just powder over it and then keep going. Sometimes it breaks down or fades off so much that powdering to keep the finish or the way that it looks on my face in certain foundations is like you can't do that, where I feel like you can definitely do that with this. I really enjoy this. I'm a big fan of this complexion product from Smashbox. I want to say I even had like really positive things to say about it in my initial review of this, and I'm glad that so many of the ones that I tried preceding this I ended up decluttering. They just didn't end up working for me. And keeping this one puts me at a tally of Declutter 23. I have kept 18 now, and even if I keep the last one, I've still decluttered in excess of the foundations in my collection of the 42 that I retested than I did keeping, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know. It's been a long day. I'm very excited that there's one more foundation to go. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out of here, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Bye, guys.